let me start with the backstory on this, okay? First of all, without going into details, we've had busy weeks and months in May and June. And also my work, but that's a completely other situation. There's been illnesses, doctors, whole shebang-a-bang. Anyway, uh, so if you don't know, you should probably know by now that this show, this YouTube channel, especially our movie reviews, and pretty much every one of our reviews, often is recorded weeks, months in advance. This episode is being recorded, at least mine is being recorded on June 15th, and it is almost 2 a.m. here. Because I'm very focused, and I hate to disappoint you guys because I did promise a space themed episode. And to her oh, by the way, the reason why we're doing two different reviews is because, well, Kay has a job that she can't stay up until 2 a.m. to do. Um and so there's going to be two parts to this review. There's going to be my part, and then there's going to be Kay's part. There's going to probably be some overlap. Okay. But to her credit, people, she did suggest we watch another film, but I was like, no, because if that's the case, then you'll be able to like say, I don't want to review this movie, so I'd be a pretty big hypocrite if I didn't. So we're reviewing one of our films. Tom Hanks, Ron Howard's Apollo 13. Uh, Brian Grazer, Ed Harris. And I'm Bill Paxton and Kevin Bacon. Um, from what I was able to get, I did watch the entire thing twice. From what I was able to gather when watching this movie is Tom Hanks and two other people. I'm sorry. Tom Hanks is the most memorable person in this movie, as in most movies, so he's who I focused on, or he's who I can remember. Tom Hanks is the major head. I think he's something Lowell, something like that. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Space fans. Um. So anyway, he ends up going on a mission to go to the moon and then to go back. Um, but as with most things in space, you think that's gonna happen, or you think something's gonna happen, but then the worst, but then things go wrong. It happens a lot in space for. I'm not sure why, but it seems to happen a lot. I apologize, people. So anyway, then it kind of. I've never accused Roland Emmerich of ripping off ideas. Maybe Godzilla kind of taking inspiration from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, but it wouldn't shock me if this movie he got some inspiration for Day After Tomorrow, because there is kind of a similar situation. They have to like turn off. They're kind of like heavily exposed to weather, or temperature, I should say. Things go wrong. I've only seen part of that movie. I haven't seen all of it yet, so I apologize. Um, they are able to see the moon, but then they realize, or at least Tom Hanks realizes, that he'd rather get back to his family and be safe than complete his lifelong wish to land on the moon. They are they're able to do it. They're able to get back to Earth. Um, One of them has a UTI, I'm going to be spoiling it because Kay will probably be spoiling it. And if I didn't, well, this review would be extremely short. I'm sorry. Um, it's warm in here. Um, so it does end with an epilogue, and there were several things that I know and remember from this movie. Oh, Jim Jim Lovell. Yeah, that's the character's name. Is that some of the astronauts? Oh, jeez, I wish I could remember their names. Let me look this up real quick. Hold on. I don't want to insult the people. There were some people that. La 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 la. I'm sorry. I don't exactly know what their names are, but there were some astronauts that did pass away in a fire incident at the beginning that is actually based on real life. Um, my heart goes out to those people and the family. And something that I noticed, I found that out from a Fox conspiracy theory special that I saw years ago on YouTube called "Conspiracy Theory: Did We Land on the Moon?" Which, yes, we did land on the moon. Um, but also something I noticed is that one of the people in this movie, let's see if I can show it. I cannot show it. Anyway, one of the people is Dean Cundey, who was an expert that was interviewed with World's Greatest Hoaxes, Secrets Finally Revealed, and I believe he was either involved with the one about Billy Myers with spaceships, or he was commenting on Nessie photos. So there's kind of two people here with there's kind of two people involved with this. Um, it's a Tom Hanks drama, so you kind of know what you're getting into. Um, I he's very young in this, especially considering how I've seen him in later works, like the second David S. Pumpkins, for example, and when he was kind of playing like an older version of himself in like an AA meeting about luggage, which SNL sued Luggy for 3 cents. Anyway, so that's my review. My review is, yeah, it's a pretty good film. You should check it out. Um, Join us next time when we're gonna take a look at one of Kay's choices, and based on stuff that I told her, based on stuff that I told her about ideas for future movies, it's gonna probably be a drama. Um, you never know. She might surprise all of us. Okay, bye. I wonder who those astronauts were. By the way, people, I just remembered that one of the astronauts that was killed in the fire at the beginning, one of them was Gus Grissom. I'm sorry, I do not know the other ones. Peace to them and their family. Now here is Kay to do part two, aka her review.
Good morning. How is everybody? Okay, so you already heard his review of Apollo 13, or they're being combined or whatever. I enjoyed the movie. It was Tom Hanks starred in it, Ron Howard's
Directed.
direction, and that. So what had happened is the Apollo 13, he talked about the fire. There were many complications regarding that spaceship, but they deemed it ready to go,
I
and
was talking about before. Oh, never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
they deemed it ready to go to space. So Tom Hanks got the call. His team got put together. They had to train really quickly. They did, and then Gary Sense from CSI New York and from Forrest Gump, he was exposed to German measles, so his character was taken out of it. He was not happy with that. And then they had the next in line pilot. So the three of them only had a few days to work together before they went up. So they went up, probably close to the moon, over many miles away from the Earth. They started to have rumbling and things going on in the spacecraft. They didn't know exactly the extent, but oxygen tanks and engines were starting to shut down in that. They had to figure out how they could get back to Earth safely. So there was a specific spot on the moon that they were supposed to land at. I don't remember exactly what that was called, but it was a specific spot.
Sea of Tranquility?
No, it was
Mountains
something
of
else.
Happiness?
No, it was something else.
Or the Mountain of Happiness?
No, it was something else. So then on land in Houston and Florida, they had to figure out how they could get them back. So what they had to do was circle around the moon to head back. Then they had to figure out how they could get back into the Earth's atmosphere to have the thrust to get into it with hardly any electricity. So here they go, trying on land. They had to quit using the explosion or whatever for going to the bathroom and all that. So a team on land had to figure out, they piled things on a table. Okay, this is what they have on the spacecraft. Figure out how they can do this. So they put something together. It was really weird. And then they gave the instructions to the team up there while they're floating and trying to hang on to this. It was a somber moment when they all went around the moon, and I think the American flag or something was there because Tom Hanks' character, Lovell, the commander, he was not going to be able to walk on the moon, and he really wanted to do that this time. And I don't believe he was in another Apollo that went up. So it was kind of a somber moment. And then, so a lot of things happened. They had to get back to Earth. So now they brought back Gary Sense's character, I think it was Dickie or something, to figure out what they could not, or what they didn't need to use electricity wise, so the amp wouldn't go over a certain amount and they would explode up in space. So they had to figure that out. Before that, before they knew exactly what bad was going on, they were supposed to do a telecast wide broad to at least the United States, and they didn't tell the astronauts up there that they weren't being broadcasted. And it was kind of weird what they were doing, but at least his character, his family and wife were there to see it. So they were trying to, when they were coming back to the Earth, they were trying to keep Tom Hanks' mother away from the TV. So there were other past astronauts trying to keep her busy and everything. And she was like, "Get out of my way, I want to see," and everything. And so they finally, Gary Sense, his character, figured it out. He was able to translate that personally and not have somebody else do it, the instructions that they needed to do to be able to get the thrust enough power to get back to Earth. And so they called it a successful failure because it was a failure that they didn't land on the moon, but it was successful that with everything that had happened, they were able to get back to Earth safely. Once they moved to just the capsule part and they let the other part of the rocket go, oh my God, when they showed the damage, it was like a bomb exploded. I mean, the whole back half of the unit was just blown away, not there. And it was truly, I thought, a miracle that they got back. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I hope if you get the chance, Ron Howard is a great director. So if you get the chance, look it up, check it out, and have fun with it. Until next time, thank you. Apollo 13. Whoops, there we go. See? Thank you.
You have to give a tease for next time.
I don't know what the tease is for next time.
You're picking the movie.
I'm picking a movie. Okay. I'll work on that today, and you will be thoroughly happy and joyful and funny of what I pick. Okay?
Next week.
Next week. Got it. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
And cut.